Let's get into today's training. This is really fun, folks. It is kind of the foundation of what I coach in Content Marketing Kaizen, but it's going to give you the most amazing additional ideas once you have these buckets in place and you have this worksheet next to you when you are working on content creation. We're going to today create these pillars for you, and if you're not sure what a content pillar is, that is coming up right away. First of all, I'm going to deal with helping you find the flow with what you know, defining your niche audiences. You know, I always spend a load of time on that, but you'll see today specifically why it's so important. Then creating content pillars, and then that fabulous ChatGPT prompt that I always give you, which you simply copy and paste, fill in the blanks, and put into Chatty to help you with content creation. Let's start with getting into your flow. This step helps you create content you are confident about, stuff you know. We too often and too easily discount our skills, our interests, our strengths. I want you to go into your worksheet and do this. Your first line, what you do. Are you a life coach? Are you a real estate agent? What are your specific, you personally, what are your skills? Write down one or two that immediately come to mind. Don't overdo this. You can go back and do this exercise. And what are your interests? What do you love to do in or around your work? And what do you want to be known for? What we are trying to put in the spotlight is your passions and your expertise, because this is going to help us identify topics you are passionate about, what expert knowledge you have, and you want to align those passions with topics your audience are passionate about, which is going to be the next exercise. What are they looking for from you? But right now, we are looking at the in and in-out theory. Start with what's in you and look out. What are your values? What are your interests? How can that be converted into content? Or what's out there that you love that you can bring into your business communication? Just also make a note of what content formats you love to create, because that's very important. We need to hone your skills on videoing, carousels, reels, if those are not skills. Content Kaizen members, there is a fantastic reel tutorial in your content portal. If you don't know how to do reels, the favorite content, go and look. Please don't just listen to this and then put this away at the end of the training and do nothing about it. This is going to be a game changer for you to uncover amazing content that your ideal customers care about. When you create these broad categories and you come out to in, narrow them down to topics. Or if you're starting with in out, what are topics that can create a category of information? So for example, I love to teach marketing. That is my category. But the topics, I have been at this for over a year. So 52 weeks of topics I have shared here. Can you see how that takes you out and gets you thinking broadly about stuff you can add value with? This next step is to define your audience. You've identified your own passion topics. You know, you often see those posts on social media. What can you stand up and talk about for 30 minutes without preparing? What are those topics? What are those things you can talk about? Because that is content you can share. And by the way, a little PS here, that is stuff you can create online courses about, create a side gig about, something that can bring you recurring income without recurring cost. Once off, put a course out there, all you have to market. Let's go and do a little bit of work here. Take your worksheet again and choose an avatar. We do not speak any longer to everybody out there. We define our niche audiences. Choose a niche. Do you want to talk to Gen Zs? Do you want to talk to baby boomers? Do you want to talk to buyers? Do you want to talk to sellers? Do you want to talk to retailers? Do you want to talk to wholesalers? Choose one and then define their demographics. So even if you are a B2B marketer, you're still people talking to people. Who is that person you are talking to? The decision maker or the gatekeeper? What is their age, their gender? Why? Because age groups behave differently. The way we market to a Gen Z versus the way we market to a baby boomer is very different. So that's an important consideration. What is their job title, if that is relevant? How do they buy and use your content? Do they buy online? How do they buy and use your content? And then what are their values, beliefs, and hobbies? This is now where the twain shall meet. What are those common subjects you can connect on? Cats versus dogs. My dog friends and clients are absolutely engaged on my social media right now because of my rescue journey with my 2 dogs over the last 7 weeks. It has created such a buzz, and my social media is reaching through the roof because I'm talking about dogs and people are connecting with the story. Don't overthink this, folks. That common interest, what are their beliefs? What are their values they hold dear? Is it family at this time of the year? How can you connect on that level? And then what are they struggling with? What are they dreaming of? What do they want to overcome? What are their objections and concerns? So if it's disbelief with buying online, that you haven't given them enough confidence, the owner right there on video in front of them, I can see you. You are trustworthy. I'm going to take the next step on this journey with you. So fill out this audience segmentation table. You can do an avatar per line. And I'm going to share here, think about your content pillars as content buckets. Topics or categories, what can you throw into that bucket and for who? Each bucket appeals to a different audience. That might help you conceptualize this a bit. So here's an example. If your avatar is a first-time home buyer, what are content pillars you can talk about? Look at these brilliant content pillars. And by the way, ChatGPT spat this out for me. Home buying basics. Of course, that's really important to these people. And financial guidance. A lot of these people are navigating their first big savings investment. How can you help them? And you've got formats. You can see what you like to do, what you don't like to do. There are some topics. You can then paste these topics into ChatGPT and ask it to elaborate for you on a post or give you ideas for a video or a reel or a carousel. Lifestyle inspiration. Here you get now to your inspirational posts. How can you inspire people? Overcoming fears. Addressing those emotional concerns. Lives, as I've said, are one of your best types of content to overcome that. People want to connect and meet you, see a real person. Community insights. This is where you're connecting your location into your content. This is where you click on where you are. You show your neighborhood knowledge. Any brick and mortar, you want to connect with your community through what you're doing. Your nearby customers are a walk away, a short drive away. Leverage that market. Most of us forget to call out that market. You've got to do the work but I've made it really easy for you. Now you want to create a prompt to get ChatGPT helping you once you have done this work. My formula says it's in the worksheet. Hi, Chatty. You know, I call it ChatGPT Chatty. I need help creating content topics and ideas for my content marketing based on content pillars I have identified. Here's the information. Now you're simply going to copy and paste what you've written on your worksheet. I am what you do. My skills are 1 + 2 + 3 if you want. My interests are 1 + 2 + 3 if you want. I want to be known for. Think about that. That relates to your values. That relates to who you're speaking to. That relates to who you're attracting. I am passionate about, have expertise in knowledge in, so that could be your industry. Chatty will leverage that knowledge to create content ideas for you. Then you will specify your target audience is so-and-so, and remember demographics, values, desires, dreams, objections, all those things you put in there. Content pillar 1, 2, 3, if that's how many you've got. I suggest you work with 3. The example I showed you above had 5. So carry on if you've got more content pillars. Remember to build one in for inspirational work and one in for location if you're a brick and mortar. Your content pillar and then why it's important. Why do you think your audience needs that information? Always answer, why do I need this? If you cannot answer that, go back to the drawing board, because then you are sharing content you think is valuable, but they don't necessarily value. So it's not going to help you get reach. So you are then going to end your quote after you've listed all your pillars with, please ensure the topics are engaging and relevant for my audience. Include a mix of educational, entertaining, and promotional content ideas. Any questions before you go ahead? That is always, by the way, how you end a ChatGPT prompt, because if any of your prompt is unclear to Chatty, it can ask you questions, clarification. Make a note of what it's asking you, because then you're going to tweak your prompt and make your prompt better every time you speak to Chatty, or any other platform for that matter, because you brief your image creation in exactly the same way. This is a bonus training on how to fine-tune your AI prompts as well. And you can then give Chatty an additional optional next prompt. Please give me content around, and insert the topic it's come up with in your chat, which is how I elaborated on this one. So it came up with content pillars, and I gave it the purpose. Why do they need this? Because they need to be educated on the process to reduce confusion. It came up with the topics. That is basically my training for to reach out to me one-on-one. Here's my WhatsApp number or my email address if you have any questions. This exercise is just to start from the inside out, is to come up with what you love to communicate with, because when you are passionate, it comes through, and you will connect with those people who've got similar interests and connect with the same thing. You will see things start shifting. People start engaging with you more. Now suddenly, instead of crickets, you'll have likes. Then people are going to start commenting. Then people are going to start asking questions. It's amazing how you will start seeing the behavior of your community changing because you are connecting. The big thing here is to tune in to what they want to hear. You know, we all have conversations with people. And when you are constantly talking about yourself, the person you're talking to loses interest. But when you are talking about a mutual topic of interest, people pay attention, and they want to say something. They want to comment. They want to show you. That's where you want to be. It's called social for a reason. You are socializing. A lot of it is just asking about what are you enjoying? How are you celebrating your holidays? Show us your favorite thing about the season. Those are learning, first of all, what your audience resonates with, because then you can carry on having conversations. If it's something you're particularly passionate about, it suddenly alerts another content pillar. Oh my goodness, I can add this as a topic, as a content pillar. So you are very vigilant to what people are tuning into. And a very important part of your content marketing is looking at what is engaging and what is not engaging. Do more of the good stuff and tweak the other stuff. Why isn't it working? You've created it because you think it should be working, but why isn't it? Who is leveraging ChatGPT as a tool to make you work smarter? One of my biggest takeouts with one of the gurus I follow, Social Media Examiner, that really, really came up front and center to me is embrace AI to make you work smarter and better. The minute you see it as an enemy, you are going to get left behind and it is going to take your job. Learn to use AI to make you smarter and keep you ahead of the pack. Thank you, everybody. My very best love to you all.